Hey guys, it's Quinn here. I usually don't do this to the end of the video, but if you appreciate my content, please click the like button to help please YouTube's strange and powerful algorithm. Since the exact origin of the Sandworms of Arrakis is unknown within the original Dune saga, the expanded Dune books, and the Dune Encyclopedia, this video will contain a fair amount of speculation, though I will try to keep things mostly text-based. The great worms of Arrakis seem to have always been there, tunneling through the deserts, roaming the deep sands, continuing their non-stop biological metamorphosis from sand trout to worm to sand trout again. But in actuality, we know that the worms were not always on Arrakis. Frank Herbert does not make this fact obvious immediately. He does not delve into the origins of the worms at all in the first book. The reader is left to assume that they are native to the planet which they then made their home. It's not until the third book in the series, Children of Dune, that any light at all is shed on the true origin of the worms. Paul Atreides had 3 children. The first was Leto II, who was killed as an infant, and the twins, Leto and Ganima. Both twins had been pre-born, born with the memories of their ancestors. In Children of Dune, the two decided that they must go into the desert in search of a legendary taboo place known as Chakarutu. Leto begins to dream of his father, Paul. The dreams implore him to explore deeper within his inner consciousness. That is how we begin to see the truth about the worms. The sand trout, he repeated, was introduced here from some other place. This was a wet planet then. Leto learned from his other lives that the sandworms had not been native to Arrakis. Eons ago they had been brought to that place. Somewhere out there in space, there may have been another Arrakis, and yet there was no evidence of these worms anywhere else in the human universe. If they came from somewhere else, as Leto's other memory tells him, then where did they come from? The Dune saga dangles this question in front of us, but offers no clear solution. But there are a few hints about the beginnings of humankind's relationship with Melange and the worms of Dune. In Dune, Frank Herbert often focuses on the cycles of humanity for long periods of time, and yet the worms alter that cycle in a key way. Not only did Melange extend the normal human biological lifespan, as well as providing various other physical and mental benefits, the spice melange brought the possibility for certain humans to become the oracle, to see beyond the veil of time. This was the power to know the possible fates of humankind and shape it as they saw fit. The worms gave humankind the ability to see the cycle and break it. But what are the long-term cycles of the worms themselves? If they did not originate on Arrakis, and if there in fact was another planet like Dune that was home to the great worms, where that world could be is totally unknown. It is also unclear how humankind came to know of the mysterious properties of the spice melange, the mind and body altering byproduct of the desert worms. According to the Dune Encyclopedia, which provides somewhat different accounts to what is presented in Brian Herbert's expanded Dune books, there are a few ideas of how humanity came to know the properties of melange. The Bene Gesserit had used several other substances before melange in order to alter their consciousness and physiology. The encyclopedia states that the guild planet Tupile was discovered by the Aurelian Exiles fleeing Ix. According to the encyclopedia, in 84 BG Norma Cenva made the first journey through hyperspace, aided by the spice melange. The navigational usage of the spice melange must have been discovered sometime between the Aurelian Exiles' departure from the planet Ix and Norma Cenva's journey. The Aurelian Exiles would have had to have stopped on the then uninhabited Arrakis, and a strange set of circumstances would have had to have occurred, leading them to discovering melange and bringing it back with them, even though they would have known nothing of the substance's near-miraculous qualities. Its value would have been unknown to them. They surely could not have tested it in situ, and we must remember that the exiles were searching desperately for a home world, not for a new cuisine. If the exiles learned of the effects of spice after settling on Tupile, where did that spice come from? It seems beyond reason that the society wrestling with the problem of hyperspace navigation without computers would have sent scouts on years-long real space journeys to remote planets on the off chance that one might find some natural substance of value in navigation. No matter how intelligent and energetic, how does a small group numbering in the hundreds rebuild a planetary industry, restore its educational system, overawe and regiment its population, redesign spacecraft along revolutionary lines, and carry out lengthy and numerous random explorations all in 16 years? That the Aurelian Exiles accomplished the first 4 of these jobs is marvelous. That they did all 5 is incredible. The Aurelians accomplished an unbelievable amount in a short amount of time, and it seems pretty obvious that they definitely had help from some outside group who were already familiar with Melange's unique effects on humans. The next hypothesis that the Dune Encyclopedia puts forth is supposedly more widely accepted within the Dune universe. This hypothesis suggests that the Bene Gesserit sisterhood had been involved. Before they arrived on Tupile, the Aurelians spent some amount of time on the world of Praxis 3. There, the exiles were joined by a woman named Dardnius Leonshard. She claimed to have been cast out from the Bene Gesserit, but of course would have been a Bene Gesserit plant. She was a Reverend Mother, therefore she had likely had her other memory unblocked, likely during the spice trance. It is suggested here that Leonshard had been responsible for teaching Norma Cenva about the spice. If this theory, that the Sisterhood essentially created the Spacing Guild, were true, it would be somewhat fitting considering that the Bene Gesserit had a secret hand in many of the dealings throughout the history of the human empire. But it would also mean that the Sisterhood had access to Melange more than 100 years before the rest of humanity, which is possible, for Bene Gesserit's secrets run deep, but based on all available evidence, it is unlikely. What motive could the Bene Gesserit have had? The answers to that question are as numerous as the benefits an organization like the Guild may furnish. The genes of intelligent and adventurous people, perhaps one day useful in the breeding program, an organization tying an empire together, widening the resources of the gene pool, the enormous political leverage that hyperspace monopoly would wield. Still, how could the Sisterhood have known that the exiles would stop on Praxis? Based on the information presented in the Dune Encyclopedia, it is clear that the Guild did in fact possess Melange in their early days, but it is not clear how. There is a final thing suggested, though it is presented as the least likely possibility: that Melange was a gift from aliens who desired the reunion of humankind after the loss of machine-guided, faster-than-light travel. The Dune Encyclopedia provides no more information on this, and there is no further evidence of alien involvement. But considering Leto's statement on the sand trout being seeded from somewhere else, perhaps alien intelligence could be a possibility. The worms could have even been genetically engineered with their specific properties. After all, the fact that they affect the human mind and body in such significant ways without having evolved alongside humans is odd. The idea that the worms were bred specifically for this reason fits right in with all the other selected breeding and genetic manipulation that goes on in the series. Ultimately, the origin of the Sandworms remain one of the Dune Saga's greatest mysteries, and is perhaps fertile ground for future exploration in the expanded Dune series, if the idea can be handled properly. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my channel. If you want more Quinn's ideas, consider following me on Twitter, and you can also support this channel by clicking the Patreon link in the description, or by making a one-time donation through PayPal. And also guys, we're getting very close to the release of my graphic novel, Tadia. It is still on sale, pre-sale at the moment. You can click the link in the description to order if you would like it. And there's also a trailer available that I edited together myself. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.